Picture this. You're 33 years old, broke, living in a tiny apartment, and everyone you grew up with is posting their promotions, their new houses, their perfect families on social media. And you've tried 6 different careers. You've quit them all. Your parents don't understand you. Your friends have stopped asking what you're up to. You look in the mirror and whisper the question that keeps you up at night. What the hell is wrong with me? But what if I told you that those years you think you wasted, those jobs you quit, those paths you abandoned, what if all of that was actually building something inside you that nobody could see yet? Something so rare, so valuable, that one day the entire world would need exactly what you've become. This is the true story of a man who spent 8 years looking like a complete failure, and then in 30 days became the most sought-after expert in his field. If you've ever felt behind, if you've ever felt lost, if you've ever wondered why you can't just pick one thing and stick with it like everyone else, this story will change everything you believe about your journey. There was a guy named William, 25 years old, college-educated, smart, hardworking, but completely directionless. While his buddies from high school were getting married, buying homes, climbing corporate ladders, William was bouncing around like a pinball. He tried real estate, hated it, quit after 6 months. Tried working at a tech startup, felt empty inside, left after a year. Got a teaching credential, couldn't find his purpose, walked away. His dad would call him every Sunday with the same disappointed tone. "Son, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to be somebody?" William didn't have an answer because honestly, he didn't know. Every night he'd sit on his apartment balcony, staring out at the city lights, thinking, everyone else has it figured out. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just pick something and commit? But here's what nobody saw. While William looked like a mess on the outside, something incredible was happening on the inside. See, after he quit real estate, William got a job at a custom furniture shop. The owner, an old craftsman named Tom, took him under his wing. For 3 years, William learned woodworking. He learned how to see the grain in oak and maple, how to turn raw lumber into something beautiful, how to make joints so tight they'd last 100 years. Then he left. Everyone shook their heads. There he goes again. Can't finish anything. Next, William worked for a metal fabrication company. A guy named Marcus ran the shop. For 2 years, William learned to weld, to bend steel, to create strength from raw metal. Then he moved on. More whispers. William the quitter. Always running away. After that, William took night classes in graphic design and copywriting. Learned to communicate, to craft messages, to put ideas into words that moved people. 2 more years. Then he was on to something else. By the time William turned 33, he'd trained in 5 completely different fields. His younger brother now had a corner office, a house in the suburbs, 2 kids, respect. William had a cramped studio apartment and a resume that looked like a joke. Or so it seemed. One night, William's dad called. Not angry this time, just sad. "William," he said, voice heavy, "you're 33 years old. When are you going to stop wandering? When are you going to become someone?" Those words hit William like a sledgehammer. He hung up, walked to his window, and for the first time in years, he completely broke down. Tears streaming down his face, he looked at his hands. They were scarred from woodworking, calloused from metalwork, stained with ink from designing. 8 years, he whispered to himself. 8 years of trying, and I've got nothing to show for it. I'm a 33-year-old failure. The next morning, exhausted from crying all night, William was grabbing coffee when he ran into Marcus, his old boss from the metal shop. "William," Marcus called out, "come here, man." William walked over, head down, expecting another lecture about commitment. But Marcus looked at him differently, like he saw something nobody else did. "You know what you are?" Marcus asked. "A screw-up?" William replied quietly. Marcus laughed, deep and knowing. "No, you're the rarest thing in this industry." William looked up, confused. In 8 years, Marcus continued, you've learned 5 different crafts: woodworking, metalwork, design, writing, business. Do you realize what that means? William shook his head. Your brain has been rewiring itself. Every skill you learned, every hour you put in, it literally changed the neural pathways in your mind. You've been becoming something new, something this world has never seen before. Someone with 5 masters worth of knowledge in one body. William felt something crack open inside his chest. But I quit everything. I never finished anything. You didn't quit, Marcus interrupted. You were collecting. Piece by piece. Skill by skill. And very soon, all those pieces are going to connect, and when they do, the world is going to need exactly what you've become. 3 weeks later it happened. A billionaire tech entrepreneur came to town looking for someone to design and build a custom installation for his new headquarters. Something nobody had ever seen before. He called a meeting. Every craftsman and designer in the city showed up. I need something built, the entrepreneur announced. A massive entrance piece. Custom carved wood panels, integrated metalwork, embedded LED displays, and inscriptions that tell our company's story. It needs to be art, engineering, and message all in one. The room buzzed with conversation. The woodworking company owner spoke first. Sir, I can handle the wood, not the metal or the tech integration. The metal fabricator stepped forward. I can do the metal work, but I don't know woodworking or design. The graphic designer raised her hand. I can create the visuals and messaging, but I can't build anything. The entrepreneur sighed, frustrated. So I need to hire 3 different companies, coordinate between them, and this'll take 6 months and cost me a fortune? That's when William stepped forward. His heart was pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. His hands were shaking, but his voice came out steady. Sir, he said, I can do all of it. The room went dead silent, then whispers. Then someone actually laughed out loud. William? William, who couldn't hold down a job. The entrepreneur looked at him skeptically, sizing him up. You can do woodworking, metalwork, tech integration, and design, all of it? William's voice didn't waver. Give me 30 days. The entrepreneur studied him for a long moment, saw something in his eyes. Desperation, yes, but also something else. Certainty. All right, he said. 30 days. But if you fail, you're covering my wasted time. That's 50 grand, William nodded. I won't fail. William went to work like a man possessed. Day 1, he selected the wood. His hands remembered everything Tom taught him. Every cut was surgical. Every angle was perfect. Day 10, he began the metalwork. His arms remembered Marcus's training. The steel bent to his will like it was alive. The patterns emerged like music. Day 20, he integrated the technology and created the inscriptions. His mind remembered everything he'd learned about design and communication. The words flowed like poetry. And as he worked, 16-hour days, barely sleeping, barely eating, William realized something that made him weep, not from sadness but from understanding. I've been training for this my entire life. Every job I took, every skill I built, every year I thought I was wasting, it was all preparing me for this exact moment. The 8 years weren't wasted. They were the foundation. They were my training montage. They were my transformation. On day 30, William stepped back and looked at his work. It was magnificent. Beyond anything he'd imagined he could create. The entrepreneur arrived with his entire executive team. Half the city showed up, curious to see if William had actually pulled it off or crashed and burned spectacularly. The covering was pulled away from the installation. Complete silence. The wooden panels were carved with such intricate detail they looked alive. The metalwork was so precisely engineered, it seemed to defy physics. The LED integration was seamless. The inscriptions were so powerful, they gave people chills. The entrepreneur walked closer, ran his hand over the work, turned to William, and his eyes were wide. This is master-level work. How the hell did you do this? William smiled quietly. I worked on myself in silence for 8 years. While everyone thought I was lost, I was becoming. The entrepreneur pulled out his checkbook right there, wrote a number that made William's hands shake. Word spread like wildfire. Suddenly, every major company wanted William's work. Forbes wrote an article about him. His Instagram went from 300 followers to 300,000 in a week. But William never forgot the lesson. 2 years later, a young woman knocked on William's studio door. Her name was Sarah. She was 24. "William," she said, voice shaking, "I need advice. I'm lost. I've tried 4 different careers. I failed at all of them. Everyone says I'm wasting my life. My parents think I'm a disappointment." William invited her in, made her coffee, and smiled. "How old are you?" he asked. 24. I was lost until I was 33. 11 years of wandering. 11 years of people thinking I was a screw-up. Sarah looked up, surprised. Every job you try, every skill you learn, even if you quit, it's rewiring your brain. Neuroscience proves this. You're not wasting time. You're collecting pieces of a puzzle. And one day, those pieces will connect, and you'll become someone nobody expected, not even yourself. "But what if I never figure it out?" Sarah asked, tears in her eyes. William stood up, walked to his workshop, showed her the tools. "You see these? Woodworking tools, metalworking equipment, design software. 8 years ago, people thought I couldn't finish anything. Today, I'm booked solid for the next 2 years. Companies fly me across the country. Not because I was born special, but because I spent years working on myself in silence, building skills nobody could see, until one day they couldn't ignore them anymore." Sarah's eyes filled with hope. "So I'm not wasting time?" "No," William said firmly. "You're becoming. Just keep building, keep learning. Work on yourself when nobody's watching. And when your moment comes, and it will come, you'll be ready. If you're watching this right now and you feel lost, if you feel like you're behind, like everyone else figured it out except you, if you read 25 or 35 or 45, and you feel like you've wasted years trying things and quitting, moving from one thing to another, hear this. You are not wasting time. You are collecting skills. You are rewiring your brain. You are becoming someone the world desperately needs, but doesn't know it yet. Every hour you spend learning something new literally changes your brain, creates new neural pathways, builds new connections. The science backs this up. The years between starting and succeeding aren't wasted years. They're the forge. They're where masters are made. Work on yourself in silence. Let your success make the noise. The person who looks lost today might be the master the world needs tomorrow. That person might be you.